and welcome to the Holiday and Cruise Clinic, where over the next 30 minutes we're going to be answering more of your holiday, cruise and travel related questions. In today's programme we're going to be discussing luxury cruising, so if you want to get in touch with us, here's how. Our website is one of the best ways of getting in touch with us. It's www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Just click on Programmes, select the clinic page and submit your questions to us online through the website. You can also email us directly, clinic@holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk, and we'd love to hear from you by traditional post as well to the Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool L22 5NG. Now, with more and more of us choosing to cruise for our holiday getaway, the options available to us continue to grow. And one of those options is luxury cruising. But who is luxury cruising for? What's included? And is it within our reach? Well, here to tell us more about this 6-star lifestyle is Lisa Donovan from Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Lisa, welcome along.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. Sounds a bit expensive, but sounds lovely. What kind of people go on 6-star cruises and what can we expect?
I think you've put a good point across there. People's perception of 6-star or ultra luxury cruising is that it's going to be expensive. Firstly, I kind of want to quash any myths on that and look at the actual value for money. Firstly, the kind of increase in service for not that much more. But what you need to do is firstly evaluate what kind of cruising experience you're looking for. If you're a balcony cruiser, then you're ready for 6-star. Okay, as simple as that then, basically.
It is. Because we do get quite spoiled on many ocean cruises and river cruises as well. So are you saying it's all that plus a little bit extra? Yeah,
I mean that to get that one level more in star rating, majority within the 6-star ultra luxury market, the crew members are employed for their memory and for their skills. But also when you look at the guest to crew ratio of a 1 to 1.6, there's nearly a crew member for every guest on board. But the most important part of what we say or emphasise within the 6-star market is please don't look at the cost of your cruise, look at how much it costs you to get off. And when you evaluate that spend in between, that's where the difference comes in.
Yeah, by that you mean excursions or things like that,
yeah,
which can often be hidden costs.
Oh, absolutely. And with the 6-star market, ultra luxury market, that's all included. And people forget that. They'll look at the price and then they forget what their average bar bill is, what their shore excursions have cost, what their gratuities are. With the Regent or any 6-star product, that's all taken care of. You can walk on board with an empty wallet or purse.
Yes, you've been on holiday with me before, I can see that. So if we're at the higher end of cruising then, are the ships quite formal and perhaps a little bit stuffy maybe?
No. Again, that's another perception of ultra luxury market. I would actually say we're more elegant rather than formal and stuffy. So it's elegant attire rather than, I mean, for us as a company, we don't have a formal night on anything from 7 to 10 night sailings. So what we want our guests to do is to walk on board and relax and enjoy the onboard experience and not feel that they have to dress up with a black tie and dicky bow. It's not like that. Yet it is elegant. So I do want to emphasise that there is a dress code, but it's an elegant casual attire.
Yeah, sure. And you wouldn't necessarily be wearing anything completely different to what you'd be wearing if you went on a normal package holiday at that level.
Jeans are allowed, shorts are allowed, but after 6 o'clock, obviously we do like you to adhere to a certain dress code, obviously, as you would do in any 5-star hotel. You know, you wouldn't go for dinner in your shorts or wearing your tracksuit. So that's all we ask.
We talk a lot about cruising on this programme, and I'm interested to know from the regular ocean cruises that we've talked about, very big, very accommodating. If we're going 6-star cruising, how are the ships different in that respect?
Well, obviously, I mean, I've been in the cruising market a long time. Doesn't look like I've been, but I have been.
Surely not, no.
What I like about the cruising market is there is a product for everybody. So you do have the big ocean liners that offer everything from ice skating, great facilities on board. Obviously, as you go into the higher market of the cruising industry, your ships are smaller and much more intimate, and that's what it's all about. But what I always say, what we try to offer within that market is the big ship feel, but with a small ship mentality. And I mean that in terms of we still have all the amenities you would find on the bigger ships, the show lounge with the Broadway entertainments, the guest lecturers, guest entertainers, casinos, boutiques, so all you would find, but on a smaller scale and without the masses, without the crowds.
Because it's quite important, isn't it, for people to come on a cruise holiday again because they like the particular ship. Or the people remember their name, which is quite important.
Yeah, and that again is what we spoke about at the beginning. The crew are employed for their memory, and people, when I've said that before, they kind of memory. But the most important thing is someone just remembering the finer details of what your specific needs are. Do you like ice in your drink? Do you like your beds turned down a certain way? What is your name? They're all the finer things that we kind of forget. We tend to forget what the experience is about. What we try and say is, don't worry too much about the cost. Look at what you will get in return.
And you can be a little celebrity, can't you, in your own world for a couple of weeks or 10 days, can't you? And just be very well looked after.
Absolutely. What I like about this end of the market is the profile you get varies profiles, varies backgrounds. People that may have saved for 5 years, people that it may come easy to. But the nice thing is once they step on that gangway, everybody is of the same ilk. You're looking at an all-suite accommodation, you're looking at an all-inclusive package. So if you want to drink champagne from morning till night, you can do. So you're not having to worry about what is my bar bill going to be mid-cruise? Are we going to have to kind of cut back on shore excursions? It's not like that. So
do you have the champagne pyramid, do you, in the restaurant where you start at the top and pour it down?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all the kind of things that we like to see, the caviar, the champagne, and people's perception it's going to be flowing. Yes, it is. It is flowing throughout the cruise, but the nice thing is you're not signing for it.
Yes, that's a good point. What about the average age of people who go there? If I book a holiday there, am I going to be with people who are a little bit older than me, or is there generally a particular age that I can mix with?
Do you know, if you'd have asked me 5 years ago, I mean, I've been in the ultra-luxury market for nearly 15 years, and I would have said our average age within that market is 70 plus. But what we have seen over the last 5 years is a huge change in the demographics of people's age, people's, of backgrounds. We've seen a kind of average age of 55 plus. But also that new age coming through, that now people are wanting more for their money, but also people are wanting them finer things in life, and especially in their travel. So on some occasions, it's the quality aspect rather than the quantity. So they'll take a shorter cruise, but they'll get much more from it. So that's slightly changing.
Now, it's interesting what you hinted at there about people saving for 5 years or more in order to do this. And it's important that you remember, I suppose, that people have made a great effort to be there. But would you then consider making it a family occasion, or is it more of a couples thing at this end?
Again, that can change. What we are seeing are kind of trends. So your summer periods, we're finding a lot of 3-generation travellers. We like, the grandparents that like to bring their children, their grandchildren with them. Although on the higher end scale, we don't have the facilities you would find on the premium cruise lines that can offer all the entertainment for the children. Ours is more based on an educational front, that the children will be looked after throughout the day by qualified nannies, qualified teachers, but we don't have the rock climbing and the big children's clubs. However, we don't turn children away.
Okay. Well, I want to talk more about where your ships go, how many you have and things like that, but we're going to take a quick break now, Lisa, so stay there. Plenty more to talk about.
Thank you.
For 6-star cruising, but don't go away for now. We'll be talking more with Lisa in part 2 of today's clinic, but if we've already whetted your appetite at the idea of cruising, the 5-star or 6-star lifestyle, then our handy cruise guides here could just be for you. For a free copy of either of them or both, we've got a family guide to cruising there and an introduction for people who are new to cruises. There you go, just have a look at that. Plenty of really good questions and answers in there, loads of information. For a free copy, 0871 423 4444. Calls will cost 10p a minute from a BT landline, and calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Time for us, as I say, to take a quick break right now, but do stay with us. Lisa and myself will be back with you in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to today's edition of the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. Don't forget, our travel experts are always on hand to answer your cruise, holiday and travel related questions. So if you want to get in touch with us, here's how to do it. Our website is one of the best ways of getting in touch with us. It's www.holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk. Just click on Programmes, select the clinic page and submit your questions to us online through the site. You can also email us directly to clinic@holidayandcruisechannel.co.uk and write to us the traditional way as well by post. For the Holiday and Cruise Channel, Cavendish House, Brighton Road, Liverpool, L22 5NG. Now back to today's clinic, and Lisa Donovan is with me from Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Lisa, we're talking about 6-star cruising, the luxury, the high end. It's all very nice, all very well prepared, and you get very well looked after, don't you? How many ships do you have and where do they go?
As a company, Regent have 3 ships, so not many to remember. We have the Voyager and the Mariner, which are the only 2 ships in the world that are all suite or balcony. And we have our little Navigator, which again is all suite accommodation, but 90% balcony, 10% ocean view.
And the places that we could look forward to going to, and where from, for example?
Worldwide.
Yeah.
We kind of bring the world to your doorstep. We are a fly cruise, so depending on what part of the world, whether it's South America, Australia, New Zealand, the Mediterranean, the Baltic, so we literally follow the sun.
Right, lovely, fabulous. And for people who don't want to fly, maybe there's a UK option as well?
There is one UK option. Well, we do a round trip, which is doing the British Isles, but then we also have a one-way, so you would fly to Barcelona and then you would sail into Southampton. Okay,
and how up to date are they? You know, if we're paying a premium or want to enjoy a 6-star lifestyle, the ships obviously have to be pucker, which I'm sure they are. Absolutely,
no frayed carpets. The great thing is with Regent, we are really seriously investing in our products. In 2009, 2010, each ship underwent a $25 million refit, and then our Seven Seas Voyager has recently been relaunched with yet another refit, so they do look superb. What you would expect from a floating hotel, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's interesting to hear from the corporate angle, but Lisa, I want to know a little bit more about the personal angle as well, and how you come to be so qualified to talk about the 6-star option. You've been involved in travel for a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. I'm very privileged, I have to say. I was first introduced to cruising when I was 10. Not on a working aspect, as you can imagine, but my grandparents and my parents had a passion for the cruising. In the old style of cruising. And then in early 30s, I decided that I wanted to take a life at sea. So I actually became a crew member, and I joined my first cruise, which was with Carnival Cruises, the fun ships, in Miami. Quite daunting at the time, but incredible. It just kind of catapulted me to a world that I had no idea of where it would turn, but it's just been the most memorable and amazing journey I've ever taken in my life.
Yes, I'm sure. Go on, make us all a bit jealous. Tell us about where a few of the things places you've been to.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to say that from my experiences of kind of the Carnival, Cunard, Silversea, Regent, Seabourn days, I've been around the world 3 times, Phil. Yes.
She just casually puts in the conversation.
No, but you know, the great thing with cruising, I think that it makes the world a much smaller place, and give us all all the opportunities to see some of the amazing places that are out there. I mean, just to cruise through the Amazon, you know, and take the smaller canoe boats through the Brevis Narrows is just eye-opening. And what I've also found over the years is that, you know, the days where I enjoyed lying on the beach or, you know, soaking up the sun around the pool, now what I take out of the cruising and the travel side, and hopefully for my little girl as well, is the cultures, the different cultures of each country, even on our doorsteps, that we don't realise. You know, last year I did the Black Sea, and just to see how Romania and Bulgaria and, you know, that side of the interest and the culture is just phenomenal. It's incredible. And what cruising does for you is not just deliver you to these places, it also gives you the opportunities that they package an itinerary for you with regards to shore excursions, that, you know, they will do all the hard work for you. You just put yourself on a coach and just enjoy the ride.
Okay. Now, I'm sure all this comes as a bit of a premium, doesn't it? So we obviously want to make sure that we know exactly what we're paying for. And as we often say on this programme, preparation before you go and making sure you get everything you want out of the holiday before you go is very important. Are we paying all up front, or are there some hidden costs or extra costs we may have to pay for on the holiday?
Various cruise lines do it in various ways. And I think, just to emphasise on a point you've made, the problem is we don't cater for what we're going to spend on board. But with this end of cruising, you don't have to worry. It is up front. So literally you can walk on that gangway with an empty purse or an empty wallet. And the nice thing with that is there is no hidden extras. But what also comes into fruition there is, you know, you don't have to worry about how much is the next drink going to cost me, or whether you do meet somebody, you know, and that's what's nice about the kind of higher end of the cruising market, that it is that little more intimate, that you can meet more people, the barriers come down, that you're not having to worry about who's going to sign for this next round, or if you want dinner with somebody, you know, who's going to buy the wine. So that's all taken care of, that's all put to one side. And your shore excursions with Regent, our shore excursions are all included. What we tend to do, because they can have quite a premium price on them, is that we start to cherry pick. With this end of the market, you don't need to. You can literally take advantage of as many shore excursions as you can physically take.
Right. So you can have a relaxing holiday, not getting off if you don't want to.
Absolutely.
Or you can blitz everywhere you go.
Yeah, choice and time, that's what we give you back. No hidden extras.
Okay. I think, as we've hinted a lot so far in the interview, is about the people who you meet, and obviously, you know, the crew and everybody remembering a name, who you are. What about my fellow travellers when I go on board ship? You know, are they going to be British? Are they going to be American? I'm hoping that they're going to be a little bit like me if I'm wanting to go in the 6-star option. But who will I meet, do you think, when I'm there?
Some very interesting people. We are predominantly American. We looked at statistics lately, and it's around 75% that you would find of the affluent American cruiser. The British market is growing considerably, same with the European market. But we're also now kind of moving into the Canadian market and the Australian market, so you will find within the cruising market that all different levels are growing. It's a huge growing market.
Because they're smaller ships, do you think? I mean, people ask me this question an awful lot about seasickness, you know, that kind of thing. It's the basic questions. Am I going to like the food? Am I going to get seasick? With you having smaller ships, is that any different than some of the bigger ocean-going vessels?
No, I mean, they're kind of all designed on the same basis. You know, the experience that I've had of a crew member, you know, you're never going to get away. If you have that kind of feeling towards any form of sickness. But I've had a lot of people say to me, well, you know, when I was last on a ferry, I was very seasick. Your cruise lines are totally different. You know, the hulls are much deeper. You have the stabilizers on board. So majority of the time, it doesn't feel like you're on anything but dry land. But, you know, natural weather conditions, we can't say that there isn't going to be movement. But again, if we do come across anything, then there is always the nurse and the hospital on board that will give you
yes.
the wristbands, the ear patches and the injections.
Yeah. Just going back to yourself for a few moments, you enjoyed obviously travelling around, seeing the sights, going around the world. What about life on board? Can you particularly remember some events that you enjoyed as a crew member?
My God, there's so many, Phil. I could be here all day, but I won't bore you with that. It's just an incredible experience. And what's also, you know, everyone that is there has a passion for travel. So that's always nice that you can work in and mix in with these people. But I think it was just, you know, the onboard experience, the people that you met with regards to the guests. So it was kind of like a family. You know, that was your family on board. And with the crew members, you became very, very close because, you know, bearing in mind you're living, breathing and eating with these people. But also it was the guests that you did become friends with. I mean, I still have friends from, you know, other cruise companies that I've worked for that I'm still in touch with. It's an incredible kind of feeling on board. It was amazing. Best part of my life.
And it's not always couples that choose to go, or families, is it? I mean, I speak to a lot of people who are on their own, for example, and maybe want to go on a cruise, but are unsure whether they want to socialise with people, or indeed whether they're the right kind of people they want to socialise with either as well. So if they are a lone traveller or anything like that, is this the kind of thing that would work for them? Would they be looked after, or would they be given time on their own as well?
You know, with this end of the market, because of the intimacy, for one, it's absolutely fantastic for single cruisers. Sadly, my father passed away when he was quite young, so my mum was a single cruiser. And I always used to worry, you know, she'd come on board the ships that I was working on and I'd feel a little worried for her. There was no need, never saw her. Because firstly, with the all-inclusivity, you know, the single cruisers don't have to worry about, you know, not that paying, but we have a regular single cruiser with us on Regent, and she always said she chose this end of the market because as a single woman, she always found on some of the other premium cruise lines that they'd never allow her to pay. It was always the gentleman that stood forward and said, no, 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 no. And she said, I didn't want that. She said, I want to walk on there and be independent and be able to, you know, join people without them feeling they had to kind of look after me. So she found that such a big benefit that she could just walk on board, meet new people. But also we do accommodate on your welcome evenings that the social hostess and the cruise director will have, you know, meet your fellow single cruisers. So there are various ways to meet. So it's a great end of the market to cruise with.
And what about a bit of matchmaking going on, for example? Am I likely to go on board and meet a rich millionaire, or, you know, either male or female?
Well, that's up to you, Phil. But no, we don't do
Not
any
always
blind
speaking
dating.
from my own personal experience, but yeah.
The nice thing is, you know, in the 6-star market, you have the gentleman hosts that are there for the ladies that do like that kind of formal dancing, or maybe with the husbands that they don't like to dance. So again, there is just so many ways to meet new people and just take away new friends. It really is incredible.
Okay, Lisa, thank you very much for telling us about 6-star cruising on the programme today. Always nice to look forward to a little bit of luxury if you possibly can do, but it's been great having a little insight into how things work. Thank you for telling us about it. And a quick reminder before we go about our free guides. This is something that Lisa doesn't need, but if you'd like some really helpful questions and answers, advice about first-time cruising, or if you're a family maybe and you're thinking of cruising as opposed to the normal conventional package holiday, then one or both of these guides are going to be very useful to you. There they are, and they're both free for you. You can either ring 0871 423 4444 for a copy of one or both of them. Calls will cost 10p a minute from BT landlines, and calls from other networks and mobiles may vary. Well, that's all we've got time for on today's edition of the Holiday and Cruise Clinic. Remember to keep your questions coming into us, and we'll get our travel experts on the case for you. Until next time, goodbye.